Hey, family. Hey, family. Y'all know who this is. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Y'all didn't forget, did you? Well, I'm going to remind you again. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. What's up, Mia? Steve Copeland from the Couch Couch Conversation Show. What's up? What's up, family? What's up? You know, I've been trying to force myself to start coming back on my live. Um, Y'all know it's just normally Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? And then Saturdays at 2 for the Teen Talk Show. But I've been trying to force myself to start coming back on live. Um I don't know. I mean, I'm on TikTok. I love TikTok. And for a lot of y'all that don't know, um I don't mind coming on platforms, right? But don't invite me if you don't want to hear the truth. That's all I got to say. I'm not for all of this hypothetical stuff. I'm not for all that craziness. I'm not for it. I'm 63 years old. I know I look good. I know I look good. But I'm 63 years old, family. And, you know, I thank God. I truly, truly, truly thank God because I never thought I would make it past 21. So to turn like 40, then 50, then 60, blows me away. I was gonna say blew me away, but it blows me away that I am at the age that I am at. And I'm truly honored. I'm truly honored, you know, because I'm in granddaddy mode now. So I thank God for all that, you know. Um, but I wanted to come on today, and my goal was, well, it's almost 3 now. So I wanted to come on today. I'm trying to really, as far as physically, I'm trying to get myself to, show up more at my regular scheduled time. That's where I'm at. And sometimes your body just don't feel like it. You get me? So now I'm realizing I have to force myself even when I don't want to. And I'm talking about mainly on my scheduled days. And then if I start coming on Sundays, I might have a little topic for Sundays that we can talk about. I normally don't have a topic, so we can talk a little bit about any and everything. I just want us to try to share positive information and encouraging and motivating and empowering our people. This is a big conversation that I've been having with TikTok, right? Because when I do my little lives like this and I send some over, they will send me messages back, like this violate this violate that. Then I have to remind them basically who I am and what I do. Because the goal is not to sit up here, discourage, talk bad about nobody, belittle nobody. That's not me. Now, if you come for me, understand I'm human. I'm not going to just sit back and let you run over me. I'm not. If I call the men, if I call you nephew, that means chill it, bring it down. That's all I'm saying. If I call you nephew, that's my way of saying bring it down. Respect, right? The women I'm going to call queens. So if you call yourself coming for me, right? To me, if you come for me, and I'm old enough to be your father, that shows me you don't have no respect. Not even for your daddy. Because if you had respect for your daddy, you would respect this OG right here. You get me? Women, the queens. If you disrespect me as a man or as a king, it shows me you have no respect for yourself. So I understand why you say what you say and you do what you do, because you don't respect you. Because if you respect you, nowhere in the world you would disrespect this king right here. You have none. So when you come on here and you just want to run off at your mouth and over talk and this and that, and men this, men that, women this, women that, that shows me you have no respect, period. Hey, Apostle, that shows me you have no respect, period. You have no home training, period. Me and my children do not address each other like that. So it goes to show me when y'all use the N word, I try not to because I know it's there. I know it's there. But when y'all use the N word and references to another human being, it goes to show me y'all ain't got no respect for your goddamn selves. None. And you can go tell your mama, you can go tell your daddy, you can go tell your uncle, you can go tell everybody that Steve Copeland said it. I grew up when the village was there. And it's not like we can't bring it back. Don't you ever think we can't bring the village back. That's where the unity come in at. Y'all sitting up there, y'all giving up on life. I ain't giving up on life. I'm not giving up on our people. Anytime I can encourage and motivate somebody, at least the one to think about changing their lives around, let them know I'm here for you. And not just me, it's a whole group of us. And when I said that, I'm looking at our people that's in the inner city, right, that lives below the poverty rate, the ones that need the help the most. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. What I look like. God delivered me from smugs and all that type of stuff over 32 years ago. He delivered me from that lifestyle. What I look like not going back out helping his people. What I look like. And if you know anything about Bible, right? What did Jesus Christ come here for? Why did God become flesh and dwell among his people? Why did he come? Why did Jesus feed the 5,000? So guess what? When you hear me talk about the box truck, right? I get clothes, I get furniture, I get food, I get all that stuff. Didn't Jesus take care of the people? So if you know the Bible, you know exactly what a deacon mission is. I am a fisher of men. That's why I'm back in the community. And not just the men and the women and the children. You get me? A lot of y'all don't know scripture. You too busy trying to figure it out. He ain't made it clear enough for you. That's why I started the housing program for the homeless and the less fortunate people. The LaTanya D. Copeland House of Hope. I named it after my sister. She passed away 3 years ago. My best friend left me. So to carry on her legacy, I named my housing program after my sister. And if you want to know why I'm loud, that's when the Holy Spirit step in. And I was listening to Lamar Hunter at our church, right? He was talking about how Jesus prayed and Jesus prayed loud. He was talking about how he prayed loud because the disciples was falling asleep on him. So he started praying and he prayed loud to get their attention. And I said, oh my God, that's why I speak loud. He was praying to the Father because he was getting ready to go to Calvary. but he was praying loud. He was speaking loud. So his voice would echo, so it can wake them up from sleeping. I was like, oh my God. And a lot of times y'all be like, why you so loud? Why you this and that? Now I understand. And y'all know real simple, prayer is nothing but communicating with the Father or the Creator. It's a communion between you and God. Powerful. Powerful. I was taught early on, study to show thyself approved unto the Father. I was taught early on to pray, apostle, for sight beyond sight. I was taught early on to seek the truth behind his word. So we already know what the manuscript says. We already know what the Bible says. I wanted to know, what is God actually saying? What is Christ actually saying when it came to me? It's not about y'all when it comes to my relationship with Christ. It's not about y'all. Wherever you call him Yahweh, wherever you call him Judah, wherever you call him what I am, what you know, whatever name that you embrace, Mother Earth, you can call it your third eye. I'm talking about your energy, your spiritual connection. It doesn't matter. If that's the way God deals with you, or that's the way you connect with him, that's fine. But I go by way of the Son. But through my process, I started understanding God had many ways of reaching his people. I remember over 32 years ago. Now, mind y'all, I grew up Baptist, right? And giving my life to Christ. Hey, Carmen says, what's up, Pastor? It was basically based around the religion. I was at Browns Memorial Church for 5 years. And it got to the point where, hey, Pastor, it got to the point where I was listening to Malachi York. That's why I don't trust everybody that they ministering to my spirit. And a lot of the stuff Malachi York said made sense to this. Because he made a statement out of his mouth. How can a woman have a baby without being with a man? Right? And then he made another statement, once you gone, once you pass away, you passed away. Right? But now he was making sense here. So for 3 years, I ended up stopped going to church. And when I did start going back, I started going to the Church of Redeemed. And my pastor, Bishop Jerome Stokes, he don't preach, he teach. And he was breaking it down, making the word so simple, my 5-year-old son could understand it. He was in the nursery. And that's how simple he brings the word. Well, anyway, after that, I said, I will never again let everybody feed my spirit. So I had to really get to know Christ for myself. And that's what my pastor said. Show thyself approved. So my thing is to who? He was talking about God. So after that, right, and Malachi York, I don't know if he's in prison or not, but it was some other stuff with younger female. He was I think he did more science somewhere along that line because I was sponsoring a guy who was dealing with Malachi York. But anyway, I had to stop this. I had to stop trying to figure God out. Whatever God said is what it is, what it is. That's why when you look at the word, I try my best because of the Holy Scriptures, Pastor. I try my best not to add or take away from it because it is what it is, what it is. Don't do it. But he will show you certain things. I don't try to do it because if you are, say, a real Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, in the box type religious person, I don't want to discourage you from nothing that the Bible says. But as I begin to grow throughout the years, from just getting a beautiful understanding of the Creator himself, and as I begin to grow, he showed me who he became in the flesh. I'm like, oh my God. The spoken word, which became the written word, had become the living, breathing word. I was like, oh my God. But that's part of the relationship with him, the connection. And not only that, and building that connection with Christ, we talking about the Son now. As building that connection, that's relationship, that one-on-one. And understanding when he left, or he said, when I go, I'm going to leave one behind that's going to protect you, that's going to watch over you, that's going to groom you, that's going to grow you. And now you talking about the Holy Spirit. So a lot of y'all might not see that transformation. I'm just talking about what he did for me. And Pastor, I'm going to shut my mouth in a minute because I know you just came up and I know you got a word. But I'm just telling you what he did with me. And y'all see, I like bragging and boasting, right? Y'all see how handsome I look. Y'all see how pretty I look. God did this, not me. God did this. I gotta give him all the credit. But I felt special, Pastor. I felt real special when God, the Creator, became flesh, which was his Son and the Holy Spirit. So I'm just looking at, even though the word Trinity is not in the Bible, I'm looking at the transformation because it's only one. It's only one. But I'm looking at the transformation, and that came through reading and studying scripture. Now, whatever you read and you study, if you don't see it through your transformation, that hey, that's you. If you say ain't no J back during the times it was a Y, you say whatever you want. But I know him by the name of Jesus Christ. And I tell you, he's known by many names, but there's no other name that holds the power like Jesus Christ, that demons will tremble. Come on, Pastor.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, and you?
I am doing just fabulous, okay, for a Sunday. And I was listening to your word. I just come on and just listen sometime. I like to hear, I like to hear. I like to take in and everything. And we have to realize that we are enough. We have to realize that the one thing that I have recognized is, and I'm going to say this because I just put up a post that said, you are the Garden of Eden. Okay? You are the Garden of Eden. God made a garden, and then he placed man in it. And he gave man dominion over it. He also said, hey, I want you to name all these animals, okay? And most people don't even realize this. Adam never told God he was lonely. God told Adam that he was lonely, okay? And he said, because of that, I'm going to create to you a helpmate, okay? which is called Eve. And Eve means new dawning, a new day, okay? So Adam got a new day, okay? When he received the woman and he recognized her as flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone, which means that Eve had Adam's DNA as well as God's essence, okay?
Come on.
And so I'm gonna bring it up to this modern day right now, what we call Sunday, okay? And we have a lot of stuff going on in this world and in this geographical place that we call the United States of America. And we have an issue where we have a Congress that is supposed to be representatives of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to be under a Christian nation of God. But we don't see God in the people anymore that represent us, okay? They're supposed to be for us, okay? And we are being distracted. And now they telling us that God can make a mistake. And they telling us all of this stuff. But God told us and gave us a mandate. He says, trust no man, no government, no king. He told us that. So I'm going to say we are in error in so many ways. So we need to get back to the garden. And we need to become tillers of the soil again. And you know what that soil is? It's you and me. We need to cultivate the seeds that are in us. It says work. It says work the word, okay? The word is workable. But what we have is theology, the thought. Theology just means thought. And then we have all of these denominations. And denomination means division. But in the garden, we was one with God. We was one with God. God did not say Adam was greater than Eve. He said, I give you a helpmate. We got so many different theologies and denominations that we are separated from our Creator. So it's time to get back to the garden and become cultivators, because we are the gardeners of the garden. And if people don't understand that, the earth is the Lord and all that dwells in it. We must pick up, once again, the tools of the garden. God said that I knew you and I placed you in your mother's womb, okay? So, hey,
I've been saying it.
And he said, you are a workmanship crafted in his image. And we running around here like fatherless children. Like we ain't got no values, no standards, no principles, and no guidance. And we got all of his word. Our daddy gave us his word. And when he gave us his word, that is a guarantee. We get them guarantees on our cars, our TVs, and they still break down. But God's word never breaks down. We just don't work the word. We trusting in everything but God. And I'm going to just say that I think God has gotten to the point of saying, you know what, if my people who is called by my name will humble themselves and pray, I should hear from heaven and heal the land. He didn't say Trump. He didn't say the Democrats. He didn't say the Republicans. He didn't say Pope. What we got, Pope Leo. He didn't say the Vatican. He didn't say the Jehovah's Witnesses. He didn't say fire baptized Bishop 2 wings in a toe.
Pastor, I wanted Dr. K to come up too, because
yeah, but and you know what? I'm gonna just say this. My father's gone in the physical. He's been gone for 22 years now. But the things that my father left behind me, that he taught me about the word of God, do you know? I understand why he left. Because he left the word in me. And that's been my guide. I mean, it's like a flashlight in a dark room. And we just have to lean not to our own understanding, but trust the word of God. And I'm not talking about a church.
Right. Amen.
I'm not talking about a preacher. Because those are titles and positions that were created by man. But I'm talking about really getting back down into the garden. I didn't know that when I turned this song I had literally just been on here for about 3 minutes to do a post, and you popped up, and I'm like, oh my God. And I was listening to what you were saying, and I was like, Steve been in the garden. Steve been sitting with God in the garden. We all been Cain. But everybody forget that even after Cain did what he did, God said, I'm going to mark you so no man can kill you. Ooh. He preserved Cain.
Yeah.
He preserved him. And we have to remember, God could have killed, he could have took Adam out, he could have took Eve out. But he said he still gave him favor. He disciplined them, but he still gave them favor. The hand and the protection of God was on Adam and Eve, even though they were no longer in the garden. And we have to remember that, not only for our own lives, but even when it comes to our family, even when it comes to our community, and even when it comes to whatever this government is now. And I'm going to just say this. I'm not talking about the people in the church. I'm going to say the children. It is up to the children of God to belong together and humble themselves and pray. And then God shall, and we got to turn from the wicked ways. And God shall hear from heaven, and he will hear the land. And I'm just going to say this. This is a clarion call for the children of God to return back to the garden. And that's all I'm going to say, because I love to hear everybody else speak.
No, what I was trying to say, I wanted Dr. K to come up because, number one, I know where you at. I'm going to say spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And I know where Dr. K is at. And right now, this is a safe zone for us, because her and I, we've been on some panels like, what in the world? But it's not we see the loss, right? And we'll call each other like, what was that? But
Steve, I'm gonna say this. I have not been posted. I don't think I really done posted in like 30, 45 days or stuff. But I'm gonna say this. Steve, I get notices that say you on live, and I'll go listen on them panels. I don't even acknowledge. And I'm like, is Steve on these panels with these demons? Because they be screaming and they be cussing and they sound irrational and they spread fear. and doubt in people.
That-
And I'm like,
You've been noticing it too. Look, that's what me and Dr. K been talking about, right? But look, I've been telling them, right? Like certain people that invites me over, I come to support the host. But now, what's up, gorgeous? When they start doing that and I start doing this, they get real offended. Excuse me.
I think you was on. I think you was on somebody's post. I mean, somebody live. I want to say Thursday evening or Friday evening, and them people was cussing and everything and screaming over each other. I'm like, what is they talking about? It was a hot bowl of mess.
I know Dr. K probably on there falling out.
Okay, so I believe
Dr. K. No. That's what we've been talking about. That's why I wanted her to come up, right? Because this is a safe space right here. Gorgeous, you know you welcome to come up too. This is safe right here. And Dr. K, I know she's serious. She's about business and everything. And I know the love that's inside of her. So that's why I wanted her to come up too, because I feel safe right now. I feel like this comfort zone. We was on a platform the other day and she said something real personal and they took it for granted and she dropped. And I knew once she dropped, I said, oh my gosh, she mad, right? Because they didn't acknowledge where she was at. Because once she said it, a person came and switched the whole thing. And I'm like, what the what? But look, I went over, this the phone she normally called me on, my 667. I grabbed it because I said, I know she calling me. And she was calling me. I'm like, because she don't play. When it's nonsense, come on, Dr. K, she will drop. She like, I ain't got time for it. But yeah, I try to be patient with people. Ooh. I think come on, Dr. K, common sense. I'm like, a lot of them, it's like they my children. My children don't act nothing like that. But to me, it's like I be coming this and that. And I done blocked a lot of people, common sense. I'm sorry. I done blocked a lot of people.
You know what this is? I'm going to say this. We living in a time of willful ignorance. We living in a time of unregulated emotions, and people are taking emotions as facts. Emotions are energy emotion, but that don't make them true, and that don't make them factual. And so that lets me know that a lot of people are under the yoke of deception.
That's what Pastor Lamont was preaching about too. He was preaching about, like, because you look at being evenly yoked, but he was talking about it in another way. That some people are yoked. Just what you said. And it's like a spiritual unbalancement. That's basically where it is.
It is really unregulated energy. I'm gonna just say this: if energy is not regulated, right, you have to have a balance of positive and negative to have a good current. So if the positive is overriding the negative, that's out of balance. If the negative is overriding the positive, that's what causes shorts, power surges. Some gonna explode, right? Something is going to cause a disruption, a disconnection in the current, okay? And I think that's what we have right now. And I'm going to just say a lot of it is based upon willful ignorance, okay? People are choosing to be ignorant.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just say this. Just because somebody agrees with you in your wrongness still don't make it right.
I don't know, and I'm not really trying to figure it out, but it's something that's going on, and it's just this platform here.
It done changed. I'm gonna say this.
It has.
From the time that I met you and seen your transformation, and see your elevation of God lifting you up, and you building this nonprofit, and you stayed on course, and you were encouraging people, and you were sharing your life testimony, which was shining light for other people to come out of the darkness. It just got darker. It was like the more light that came on TikTok, the more the darkness came.
And I'm gonna tell you, and Dr. K, you can come in because that's why I wanted you to come up too. Most lately, I've been posting some of my, well, y'all know I post my stuff on there, and TikTok has been sending me certain things. So I'm communicating with TikTok now, so they're approving my stuff. And my thing is with them, y'all don't want to see people prosper. Y'all don't want us because now, mind you, I'm not up here, what we're doing. We're not cursing, we're not screaming, we're not yelling. I get loud. I'm just loud, and that's what I understand. But I was telling them, basically, I'm going by your guidelines. It's not to mention certain words and to try to keep it TikTok friendly, for what y'all are saying. But now, the other night, I posted like 5 or 6 videos, and they told all together I posted 9, and they told me it was too many. So this one ain't gonna be able to go. This one ain't gonna be able to go. But really, they cleared them. They just sent them all through. I said, But what I've been trying to say is the work that's being done is educating the community. And for me, this is what I think y'all is all about. But I'm starting to realize, no, they want to see people pained up in misery and running a ruckus like they're doing. Because that's what I'm getting.
I'm going to give you this example. Maybe you can see it in your timeline. Okay. Anything that is on a negative sense that causes discord against a person or a group of people or a race of people, you see, or anything that's fear-based, you see that get pushed out more than the things that could elevate and help people, right? They could elevate people and stuff. And for a lot of people, when TikTok, people didn't want to be on Instagram because they found Instagram to be fake and phony, that it really was not real. And so TikTok came along, and I'm gonna just say, when it was in other people's hands, people could express, people could give good information and everything. I found you, Steve. We found each other via this platform, right? And I've been supporting and everything, right? You follow me, you like my stuff and everything. So I thought that's what it was for. But I'm gonna say, in the past 15 months, I think the agenda has changed.
It has.
I really do. I really think the agenda has changed. For some reason, I'm still staying below 500.
And that's what I seen too, Carmen. I had posted something and it only had like 1 like on it. So what I did eventually, I deleted it. But I had put an appeal in for them. But now the other ones, I started seeing it growing a little bit, right? But what they want you to do, and I did it one time where I did pay like $7 to get about 2,500, but I'm like, I'm not going to keep doing that. But I know they block certain things. They block certain things.
Okay, so because they always telling me I need to pay money,
right?
$15, $12, $8, or whatever, and I'm like, first of all, I don't know what this is, and I just don't give up my information,
But I'm telling them like this, common sense. I was taught a long time ago. I don't know who it may be. Whenever I open up my mouth, if just one person, if it's just that one, because I remember years ago I wanted to reach the multitude. But I started understanding if just that message is for that one person. And I'm gonna shut up, Dr. K. I see you trying to come in. Um, just for that one person. And I was told never pay attention to my viewers because it was a lady. I don't know if she back in Baltimore City or not, but she was in Africa. And she said, "Steve, I see you all the way over here." And the lady in the UK as well. So I know they see us around the world. So I try not to get all into that. Come on, yeah, yeah, because people hear us.
Yeah, let Dr. K come on in.
Yeah.
Tell her, come on.
Yeah, come on. Don't be trying to act shy now.
Good afternoon, y'all. You know, I I will say this: is there's a lot of profanity and a lot of anger that people are carrying around in their everyday life, and they're bringing it to TikTok, and they're yelling and screaming and arguing and bickering and going back and forth with each other because that's how they are feeling about their own life. They're feeling frustrated, tired, and everything else. So they're bringing that mess, to other people. And I'm going to tell you that not everybody is spiritually well. There's a lot of spiritually sick people out there. And, sickness spawns sickness. And 2 sticks don't make a well.
Woo.
And when they start this drama stuff, like Steven said, I don't play. When they start arguing back and forth and going back and forth, I just drop, and stuff because, this is what I live by, what I live by is this in my life. Drama can only survive when there's an audience. So if I don't like what's going on around me and everything, I step out of the audience and quit entertaining it. And then, a dog is left to their own vomit. And so that's what I do is I step out of the audience and leave them to their own vomit because they're not gonna, intoxify me with their nonsense and stuff. And a lot of them, they need therapy and they need to come to professionals like me, and I get really, I get really nervous when people on here is talking about mental health, and they don't have a professional on their panel, and stuff to keep things in order and to keep things in perspective. And in fact, today there was a person that has 17,000 followers and whatever, and he does men's mental health on Sundays. And last Sunday, this guy was really engaging in the live and everything. And then this Sunday, early in the morning, he unlived himself.
Oh my God!
And there wasn't a professional on his live, to help with any of that, and I went to go push the button and he rejected my request to come up on his panel, to come up on there, I'm afraid for that panel, I'm afraid for the people that go to that, the men that go to that panel. And I work with men. That's what I do. Is I work in a men's federal prison. So I know how to work with them. And then I do my own private practice during. I got enough clients that I think I can drop the other, but I'm gonna build them up a little bit more before I drop the other. But I work with men's mental health. I work with criminals. I do all that stuff. And the thing is everybody's so eager to push it, to point out other people's character defects and flaws, but they don't want to look at themselves.
Right.
That's what that is. And I mean, the thing is yeah, people wronged us, but we have to put that out of our mind and look at what we did, because we're only responsible for us. We're not responsible for everybody else. And that's the delusion that everybody and the word delusion means lies. And people are living in delusions, and they're chasing the illusions that somehow someday that they can change the world and do all this other stuff. And you can't change anybody. You're the one that changes you. And if you don't like what you're looking at, well then, do something about it.
Right.
And everybody on here is playing the victim and, blaming everybody and like Common Sense said, is screaming on top of each other and stuff. Well, that's how they're feeling inside. That's really what they're feeling inside, is a bunch of blame and everything. So, it's no surprise to me that they're carrying their garbage onto other people and they're trauma dumping. Well, that trauma dumping goes nowhere because they don't want to change, and everybody else is co-signing their nonsense and foolishness.
Right.
And that's not going to help anybody. So with that being said, I hope I made some sense to you guys, and I hope I drove in some points.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted you to come up, Dr. K, because I already know where you at. Your profession and stuff like that. And I felt like this is a good time. Anyway, when I'm up, this is a good time for you to come up and basically share and talk about some of the things that we are talking about, because I know where you at. Where I'm at when it comes to like the 12 steps, the mental health program and all that. I understand that, it's important for people to deal with whatever life traumas. And I'm not talking about basically what's happening now, right? It's certain things we going through in life now that we learn from, right? But it's a lot of the past trauma that we haven't learned how to cope with or deal with that affects us in the here and now. And that's why I love when I see you, because I know you are a professional. I love when I see Common Sense, even if she just coming through, because I know where she at spiritually, mentally, as a pastor and all of that. So I know this is good vibes. This is good right here. And like she said, I don't really look at when I'm up Common Sense, I don't even look at the views. 9 times out of 10, I don't get no more than about 5. So I don't look even on Facebook. But I know more people hear me. I know just about every friend I have on Facebook. I got about 5,000 friends. I know from NA, I know from the church, I know from the community. I know basically for the work that I do. And a lot of times when I post stuff, they don't say much of nothing. But then when they see me in the streets, they be like, Steve Copeland from the... I said, I knew y'all be looking at me. But they be like, yeah, we see you. Sometimes they just don't want to respond. And I'm all right with that, because I can come real harsh, But I didn't understand why. Like with me, I'm a yeller. And I'll start off like this and I'll go. Even if you call me out to speak, I'll start off. People be like, we can't hear you. I said, wait a minute. Because I'll start off like this, then I go. When it comes to topics and stuff like that. So that's when I pray and I ask God to decrease me and increase him. Now, I'm not your typical Holy Ghost jumping out of a apartment complex and, off the bridges and stuff and standing back up and roll. No, let me stop. I'm not, look, I'm like, they ain't me. But that's when you understand that God give us gifts as he pleases. everybody have their own special gift, and my thing is embrace your gift. You know, mine is not to be behind the pulpit. This is my pulpit to me. You know, when I'm in the community, because look, common sense. Well, I know Dr. K though, and you probably do too. I joke about it a lot. How the Holy Spirit told me I need you more out there than in the building, right? I'm like, I ain't going out there, blah blah blah, and I'm in the streets. But that's the ministry. Now, when you're dealing with people that don't really understand, what you say, T? That's one of my fighters right there too. T don't play. T one of the ones don't play. Dr. K. She come. You know. T will come for the cuckoos. But look. Not to go too far, right? But I mean, like I was saying before you came up, common sense. A lot of the people that like who panels I might go on, I notice I'm a lot older than most of them. So to me, it's like they like my children. They not, but they like my children. So when they start doing certain things, right, I'll discipline them. And somebody say, Steve, you ain't gotta come there hard. I'm like, no, because they ain't gonna be all right. But look, and mainly our young men. When our young men get smart with me, Dr. K, I be like, nephew. I ain't your nephew. I say nephew. When I say that common sense, that's my way of saying respect. Calm it down. You know, because this is how some of the guys in the streets, right, that I have to approach. Some of them gonna play hard. Some of them listen. But when they feel like your passion is there, right? When they feel your passion, they be like, oh, he's not a bad guy. That's why I say I'm a retired OG. I had to use those words, right? I'm a retired OG, stuff like that, right? To let them know I used to be there. And if you want to come up out of it, right? And you see me in the community, just come and talk with me. You know, some of them you got to pull to the side because they ran their little hustling buddies. They don't want, you know. So you got to be careful. So that's why common sense. Now you take me back to Dr. K, right? Because it got to the point I blocked a lot of people. I'm telling you, I was getting sick and tired. And then look, wait a minute, I was just reading what somebody wrote. I'm real careful. And then look, the common sense. I call myself getting with some people my age. I blocked them too. I feel better here. You know, I'm 63, all us around that age and stuff. I'm like, I'm home. Next thing you know, they was coming for me with some bull junk. I blocked them too. I was telling Dr. K. I said I blocked them because I realized they start out good, but then it's like something hits them. It's like, what the freak? And it's getting scary. But and it's not to knock nobody. It's not to knock nobody. But I want them to hear actually what we're saying. I want them to hear it because a lot of times people are capitalizing off of other people's misery. Already know that.
Oh, definitely.
Already know
that's
that.
So great. That's crazy that you brought up the word misery because my daughter's 33. My daughter was talking about misery. And I said, Micah, you got to realize that the old saying says misery loves company. And we gotta learn how to, you know, the word discernment, spiritual discernment. I don't think people are using that tool anymore. We gotta know the difference between a mental health issue. We gotta learn and recognize that. And Dr. K brought something into it. It's a lot of males, and I'm going to put this males, there's a lot of depressed males.
Yeah.
And and people, especially if they're on these platforms, what they're hearing is, you're not good enough. See, my shirt says, wait a minute. My shirt says you are good enough, but you constantly, they're hearing, you not good enough. If you ain't if you ain't taking me to a 5-star restaurant, you ain't good enough. They ain't good enough, okay? A lot of them didn't have a father figure. A lot of them, and I'm going to say this, I'm a woman, and I raised my son, but a lot of them was raised by a mother that maybe didn't have the capacity to nurture their son and to allow the son to have a masculine mentor. So he don't know what to do with that energy. And a lot of things, and I'm gonna say this. One of the things that nobody want to talk about is the fact of how many males, even before they get to the age of 10 years old, have been inappropriately violated, okay? We hear it about the females, but we don't hear it about the young males. And this goes across all economic lines,
Yeah.
okay? And so we see this big suicide rate in this country, and we're not speaking to those things, okay? And I'm going to just say this, as a single mother, I still had my son in the household because I had my parents in the household. So I had a father. My brothers were, I had one brother that was there till he finished college, and he went off into the government. But by the time he did that, my son was still, he was 6 years old. So he had all of that male energy, right? And they were guiding him. I could be his mother. But I told my son, when my son was 2 years old, I told my son this. I asked God to teach me how to raise you, but I will never be your father.
Mm.
And I told him, I said, the day that you was coming home, I said, me and your grandmother was not allowed to ride in the front seat. I said, you rode in the front seat with your grandfather.
Mm.
My father placed him by his side. He called my son Papoose when he was little, when he was first an infant. But by the time he got to be 6 months old, he called him Chief.
Mm.
So he was covering my son with those names and everything. And we as women forget those things and stuff. I'm gonna tell you, I did not wear being a single mama as a badge and like it was my right. I was just placed in that situation. And I fulfilled my duty as being his mother, but I didn't wear it as a badge of honor. And I did not disrespect any other male because of that situation. And we have to realize that I'm going to say this, America is in a crisis because America has never dealt with her first seed, which has caused death and destruction generation after generation after generation after generation. And now we are in the grieving. We are in the first stages of death, which brings grief. And grief is the first step of grief is denial. We don't want to admit that this ain't working. We don't want to admit attacking men ain't working. We don't want to admit that we don't have the answers and government can't solve our problems. We won't admit those things, and that's the first step in grief is denial. And and Dr. K was right. You know,
Keep talking.
If you're gonna talk about mental health, you need a professional on there too, because they'll be able to guide it and everything. But you just don't want to play with people because you don't know what stage people are at in this life right now.
Right. And see, that's listening to what Dr. K said too, right? About the I'm gonna say the young man. Only, and something you said too, common sense. Because of, I'm gonna say, my knowledge, right? Working knowledge with the 12 steps, spiritual steps, right? And I sponsor a lot of men and women. You know, most of them have a nice amount of clean time. But anyway, in that process, we all sat down and we talked about those secrets, those deep, dark secrets that you just mentioned about men being raped and all this type of stuff. And that's why, and I was sitting up here looking at it again. Either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, I am going to do just a men's talk show, which I do anyway, but I'm just saying, just starting it again. That's all I'm trying to say. Where I want us to be able to talk about some of those things that happen from childhood on up, you know, where they can free themselves. And on some of my videos I send back over, I noticed they've been posting little stuff at the bottom like men's mental health, men's mental health. And that's what I talk about too, about how we deal with depression from time to time. Either the smug abuse, you know, I was a runner, so I ran to a lot of women, you know, when I wasn't dealing with my feelings and emotions. So it talked about a lot of that. And these are the things that I like talking about with the men. And that's one of the reasons too I started the Couch Conversation Show, the Couch Talk Show. So the men mainly, we can talk about life struggles, life issues. We can cry, we can holler, we can scream, because that's what I do with the brothers that I deal with, even the men in recovery now. We talk about those gut wrenching stuff, those things that you said you're going to carry to your unalive. You know what I mean? Your grave. You know, so the goal is to free men up from that, where shoot that stigma away. I'd rather see you be honest about where you at, how you feel, what's going on with you, than to act out in a destructive way that's going to put you behind bars for the rest of your life. And that's what I be telling people. I'd rather for you to yell. I'd rather for you to scream. Excuse me. And I do not like it. And I'm going to say this right now. When I hear people say things about like being out of control with your feelings and your emotions, allow a person, if they're going to cry, they want to yell, they want to scream, if that's where they at, because that's that pressure relief, let them do it. I'd rather see them yell, scream, holler than to do something destructive that they're going to regret later. And when I hear men say that, I'm like, what is your freaking problem? I'm 63 years old. I'm a freaking crybaby. I'm still a man. But God dang it, after I cry and yell and scream, ask me how I feel. It's like a pressure relief. I'm like, yeah.
You know, I'm gonna just give you a hand, you know, clap, and I'm gonna say this. I have someone who's near dear, and I call him my son. I didn't birth him, but I had to mother him recently, nurture him. I allowed him to get that, like you said, get it out. Okay. And I told him I don't want him to feel guilty, ashamed, or blamed. You were a child when that was did to you.
Right.
And I told him your mother did not have the capacity to nurture you into a space where you can release that energy. And you've been carrying that energy. But I said, today, I'm giving you permission to release it. I said, because as a child, you didn't know what to do with that energy. And really, anything that happens to us that causes trauma in us, most of the time, our parents were not equipped or had the capacity to guide us through that navigation to release the energy. So they taught us to suppress it, to hold it in instead of releasing it and everything. So I think a lot of times when we see the rage in men, that's that energy. That's that energy. They couldn't fight or harm the person who caused the first injury. So now what they do is they acted out in all destructive ways. Like you said, women was yours, okay? We got the bullies. We got the I'm gonna say the hustlers in the street, okay? Because men hustle women too, okay?
Yeah.
We got the inappropriate behavior. And it's on both sides, men and women, and everything. You got, it manifests itself in such destructive ways. And like you said, nobody should take that to their grave. It don't even belong to them in the first place. I have an LLC that's called Misplaced Emotions.
Woo!
And my ministry was called Cover Girls Ministry because I was recognizing that in the church, women were coming in and they were going back out the same way because the church did not allow the women to uncover their pain. So if the church is not allowing the women to uncover their pain, what they doing to the men?
Right.
Because the church is supposed to be a place of healing and resurrection, which means restorative redemption. And a lot of times they don't get that. It's like going to the hospital. We hear these stories all the time. You go to the hospital and you got a cut or a broken leg, and they treat everything else but the injury. Or the treatment of the injury causes more damage. You see what I'm saying? It causes an infection. So now the thing that you went to go get repaired from and to be restored, now you've been re-injured. You see what I'm saying? That's another injury on top of another injury, right? That's why they have malpractice insurance, right? To guarantee that if they injure you, they got to pay for injuring you. But the church does not have that. That's why we have to be so mindful, and we should speak to people in spirit, right, and not in opinion, okay? That's why I was talking about that spiritual discernment, And
I didn't mean to cut you, but I'm going to go back to something you said with that. If you're not Bible-oriented, right, I will have to talk to you in layman terms, which I know you know. Because basically we I don't want to say word, but we are called to be fishers of men. And when I say that, I mean women, children, the elders, we were called, we are called. I don't want to make it sound past tense, right? To be fishers of men. And you have to know how to communicate with them. And I was even taught that process of reaching a person, and sometimes, and I have done it too, Pastor, where you might just have to sit down on the curb with them, you know what I mean? And some people in Baltimore City, when I was shared with them, the ones that's caught up with the smugs, when I was shared with them that I used to be there, they'd be like, man, you don't look like you did this. You don't look like you did that. But it's just the words of encouragement to let them know that you too, can overcome. Now, I look at my arms, right? And I had tracks. They not there no more. Well, they didn't lighten up when you can't really see them. But I remember when I was like 15 and my mother asked me, she said, what is that on your arm? And I said railroad tracks because I was so embarrassed, you know. And the only thing I could think of was railroad tracks because it was brown marks. But it was a lot of pain that was there. And doing the research, I don't mean research, I'm sorry, doing the work through the 12 steps, taking that fourth step, I had to go back to find out why did I reach out towards the green stuff at 11. 13, I was drinking, and 14 doing that. And between 14 and 15 doing this. I had to look back at Steve. So it's the grown adult now sitting in my living room and the light was on. And I went like this, and God took me inside of myself to see that 5-year-old kid that was hurting. And the adult went over to the kid and grabbed him and said, I got you now. Because the adult now has to protect that child. So now, from time to time, you know, when I see that child as the adult wants to come out and do destructive things, it's the adult that has to gain control back over that childish behavior. You get me? And that's how, when it comes to our men, and not just our men, when it comes to our women too. So when I do my intake, and Missy want to share it, but look, when I do my intake for the clients, I have to basically we observing them, like you said, and I know Dr. K, I know y'all understand, real simple. When I do the intake, that's basically what I'm doing because I'm tuning into where they at. I'm tuning into their pain. And the goal is no matter where they at, is to help them feel comfortable about themselves. And once again, and it goes back to the morals, it goes back to the values, it goes back to the principles. Um, some people don't know how to feel spiritually loved about themselves inside, right? So they are spiritual principles like honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. I call it truth, faith, and trust. Rather than we using the how of the program, Dr. K understand in that sense. But rather than me using the honesty, the open-mindedness, and the willingness, I'll use the truth, faith, and trust. Because you have to have it within yourself. You got to believe back in yourself. You got to believe in you. Because if you don't have that love, that concerning within yourself, you won't know how to give it back. And that's why we have so many destructive people not being smart, but on TikTok, because nobody taught them how to actually love and care for themselves. And I'm gonna go ahead and get silent with that. So Missy, because I seen she said she was waiting for you to land your plane so she can speak.
Hey Steven, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
So, I'm always going against the grain, but what I do want to say is that, and with love, we may disagree on this one because I don't believe that. Okay, let me start from the beginning. First of all, I have a list of people. I actually plan on bringing. I want to collab with you one day, so I'm gonna hit you in your inbox. I'll let you know. But I'm not a person that believes in anything that's in the Bible. Okay, I'm spiritual. I believe in God, but the Bible is their lack of a lot of contradictions, a lot of different things that I can go on about that. But that's not the point. What I don't like is a lot of the times in our communities, people that are strong Bible thumpers is what I call them. I'm gonna just say Bible goers or Christians. put the ideation out there that some people that have these mental illnesses or heavy trauma is some type of spiritual attack. And now you have this person that is untreated and unmedicated, believing that the only thing that's going to fix them is prayer and God. And as much as we would like to believe that, even if I believed in the Bible, it says in the Bible that prayer is nothing without work. You have to work towards these things yourself. So you can't just say, we're going to pray through it. It's spiritual. This is spiritual. I'm very spiritual. That's something that you got to do within yourself. It's okay to have a community around you to help support you, but you have to do the work yourself. You have to seek the help yourself. Bringing in the Bible, it creates shame, anxiety, and depression. It puts pressure on people to appear like they're blessed or they have changed out of fear of being judged or fear of God smiting them. Churches can be a source of support, but as in community, it can help carry a person. Using the Bible, though, it can be a fear tactic. I know this personally myself. When I was 14 years old, before they diagnosed that I had my schizoaffective bipolar disorder, they said that I was possessed. So people being told that their mental illness or a spiritual attack or that, no, people need help. They've had trauma. People out here has been great. They need some type of way to work that through. They're not just being suppressed in the house. It's being suppressed in the church as well. And I'm not saying don't go to church. Like I said, it could be a great source of community. But again, even in the Bible, see, most people that don't believe in the Bible can probably quote the Bible better than people that actually read and will claim they read the Bible. Even in the Bible, it says the church is not inside of a man-made building. It's supposed to be inside of you. So that's work that you got to do within. I also came from, you already know a little bit about my background, Stephen, because I told you, so you know what type of background I came from and see the difference in how I changed. I've also seen people that came from a two-parent household whose parents were in the church and their lives were completely different. Once you become an adult and you know what you're doing and you're not again, I'm going to quote the Bible again for the Bible people. God protects who? Fools and children, right?
Yeah.
Once you're old enough to establish right from wrong, it is no longer your parents' responsibility to take any type of responsibility for any of your actions, therefore of. When I knew right from wrong, it was my decisions to do what I did, not my parents. The same is coming from someone who had a strong two-parent household that's being raised perfectly. They dropped out of school, didn't want to go to college, started hanging in the streets. I had none of that, and I went the opposite direction. Why? Because I knew right from wrong, and I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how I wanted to carry things. I knew that I needed some type of help. Some people out here don't know that they need help because of how bad the trauma is. They have tricked their minds into believing that it's something else. And that is one of the things I really need, because it is an issue, because some of the women that come into our program, we have to literally deconstruct them in order to get them to take medications that they seriously need. People with schizophrenia, people with psychosis, people with multi-personality disorder refuse to take the medication that they need to function properly because they have a chemical imbalance, because someone told them if they pray their way through it, that God's going to fix it. It's making it harder for people out here really trying to. Mental health is not something easy to deal with. And I hate to say it, but you're not going to get through it by just a prayer. That takes time and it takes work. and prayer along with that work can be a great result. But it's not just no demon or no spiritual attack. They need help. They need help. They need medication. They need therapy. They need a community of people around them that love them, that are going to help them get through the things that they're going through. That's the real church. That's the real meaning of community. That's how you, I can pray for you, but I'm going to take you to that doctor's appointment to make sure that you're getting medicated properly. I can pray for you, but especially in a BLK community, if I got to go out there and do the studying, what herbs? If you don't want to take medication, what herbs? What can I do to make this process better for you? We don't have enough people in our community that's medicinal, that's studying different things. Whereas though, if you say you don't want to take the YT man medication, who's out there studying to make something just specifically for us? The Bible been touched too many times for me. It's been touched too many times. Too many things have been removed, replaced, and rewritten. Anything that I have with God is because I sat down and I talked with my God myself. And usually you'll get a feeling. It's that thing called discernment. It's that thing called discernment. I don't need a book to tell me to be a good person. I don't need a book to tell me to do the things that I'm doing. Like I said, I came from a rough background, and I changed that completely around on my own. On my own. I could not have done it without God. But the Bible and all the things that they do in the church and things like that, no. It got a lot of people out here real messed up. It's a lady that's walking around down here where I live at right now. I live close to Canton. I ain't gonna put my foot because I don't want, and she walks around and she's homeless and she's schizophrenic. And she refuses anything, food, help, anything. Because she said God gonna provide it for her. And every time I see that lady, it just seems like she's withering away a little bit by a little bit every day. And then if you go and talk to a person that's in the church, she'll be fine. I'm like, man, this lady is dying. This lady is dying. But she's a good Christian woman. She knows she got her God. Like she is dying. It's bad. Where I live at, if you walk 2 blocks up the street, you got a corner of homeless people. Anytime I make a big pot of something in here for me and my kids, we're not going to eat all of it. I go feed them. And all the other things that it's just disheartening to me that we have been given this book. And this book has been given to keep us in line. And it's been given and it's being used. As a child, I was so scared to do anything because I was going to go to hell if I did anything wrong. I couldn't ask questions. I couldn't ask this. No, I absolutely asked God, why is this going on? Because I was taught when I was younger, you weren't supposed to question God. I get my answer. Every time I ask, I get my answer. Whatever form it may come in, I get my answer. It's a lot of different things that I just don't agree with. And other things can work. There are holistic approaches that can work. People look at that stuff like it's witchcraft, and it's not. Our ancestry, our heritage comes from those things, but people don't want to look at that. It's a reason why melanin is one of the most valuable things in this world. But I'll land my plane there.
All right, come on, Dr. K. Dr. K. Dr. K, did you unmute? Unmute. Now to remember, because Dr. K had said she wanted to say something. Remember when I said that I do an intake, right? And I don't want to lose sight of what you said, Miss. I try to help a lot of the clients, just like you just said, to embrace whatever they're feeling and seeing, right? Because sometimes when you go here and you trying to figure out what God is saying or what God is doing, this will cause you to lose your mind. It's no other way of putting it. But when I talk with the clients, Missy, the goal is we'll go on a spiritual journey. And certain things, once I know that you're not mentally unstable, right? What happened, Dr. K Drop? That you're not mentally unstable, right?
I think she was having problems with her connection.
Yeah, thank you. Probably right. She'll jump back up. Yeah, she said exactly something. But anyway, that's part of what you said. Is to talk with them. Some of them, they have gotten to a point in their life where this have popped on them, but it's balancing them back out. And balancing them back out too, when you're dealing with me, is to help you embrace your gift. You know, because a lot of us, I'm gonna say his chosen ones. So now I'm gonna have to move a lot of us out the way. The chosen ones, mainly when you have a special gift, like with me, I have the gift of human insight. So I'm gonna latch right to you. If you pained up about something, I'm gonna latch to you because the goal is to comfort your pain, to comfort you, to help guide you in the proper way, like you were saying. And I didn't want to forget that because I'm old, Missy. So I didn't want to miss it. I didn't want to forget it because you're right. But now look, what you said about the Bible. Now, I'm trying to be nice right now because when I hear the Bible thumping, believing people that wants to sit back and beat people down with scripture, be honest, I will come for you. I will come for you because the goal is to encourage, and everything you were saying, Missy, to empower, to encourage, to motivate, and what came to mind too. All right, Dr. K, what came to mind too, right? Wait a minute, let me let Dr. K up. What came to mind while you was talking, Missy? Come on, because I hate sharing from here. I like sharing from my spirit because stuff will fly right out my head. One, keep in mind, it's a lot of sick people within the church itself. It's a lot of them. And this is how some of them get a balance. Now, once I got ordained deacon, I hung out with certain people, but then my wife had made a statement, right, about the clique. So I'm not in the clique. I'm not in the church clique. I know a lot of people in my church. I've been there for 24 years, but I'm not hanging with this one because of that or this one because of that. No, because the goal is, Missy, just what you said. When people coming into the church or the lost, either way, lifestyle or whatever, is to embrace you, to help you understand God loves you in spite of. When I started hearing people, Missy, sharing more about condemning people to that HELL, I'm like, what the world? So I feel you, right? And your journey is like mine, Missy. We all spiritual. It's not based around the religion like it used to be. We spiritual because look, I love you, Missy, because I know you come straight and you come forward. That's why I love you. When you came up, you made me think about OSHA.
Why you break? Don't say his name. You gonna make him pop up.
You look. I tried to send that conversation we was having over the TikTok. They wouldn't let me move it forward, so I had to delete it. I said I'm gonna send it back. Not being smart, y'all. Look, common sense and Dr. K. Now here go my baby up here now, TT. But look, Missy don't play, mainly when it come to our people family. Missy, like me, common sense. And common sense was the one I was telling y'all about, Missy. When it comes to the women with children, she was the one telling me about giving them 18 to 24 months. So yes, Common Sense. I'm connected with the Salvation Army and other places now. And I share about Common Sense all the time because when she said it, it's like it opened up that door. So now I am looking for other resources that will help them, like Common Sense said, help them be able to afford their places, in the process too, and how they will work with them up to a year. So I thank God for her telling me that because now this is things like that is coming together for us. So TT, wait a minute, Dr. K, did you want to go, or because I wanted TT to share too?
Hey y'all.
Hey family.
I'll just go real quick. I'm with my sister on this one, part of the Bible and stuff
Right.
goes and whatnot. And religion and churches and stuff, they're not what they're cracked up to be. As a pastor's daughter, and I don't think you knew this, Stephen, but I was a pastor's daughter, and I see a lot of scams and a lot of scandalous stuff that happens, between pastors, false prophets and apostles and whatever, and so on and so forth. And the people that use the Bible to put fear into people and use the Bible to say that only God can heal and all this. Well, it says in the Bible too that God uses men to help heal. And I call it a God with skin on it, because we can't see God, we can't touch him, we can't feel him or smell him. So he sends people our way to, deliver his message, and that's a God with skin on it. And the Bible also says that we are to be Christ-like and godly-like, and that we are God. And so, if we get in touch with that spiritual power and that spiritual connection, then, we can do a lot of what God, says to us because we all have a sixth sense about us. So, the thing is that, the Bible isn't for everybody. And what Miss Saj said is that, the Bible has been touched so many times, and every time they do a different translation, what do you think they're doing? They're distorting the Bible.
Right.
To match what they think, and everything. And so, people that have severe mental illnesses, like she was talking about schizophrenics and stuff, they're like, oh, well, you're demon possessed and all this other crap, and it's like, that's a bunch of nonsense, you know what I mean? So, religion I don't do. I'm very spiritual, as Stephen knows, but I do not touch the Bible and all that type of thing because I don't believe in it.
Right.
I really don't. I believe in God. I believe that, that God works through people and stuff. But that Bible stuff, the thing is that, did these people like Jonah and all these Moses and everybody, did they know that they were going to be in the Bible? It makes you wonder, it makes me wonder if they knew that they were going to be in the Bible or not, and all this prejudging God and stuff, that's not, I don't know. All I know is that, I've got an Ethiopian Bible, and it's very close to what I believe that God is. All this New American Standard and King James Version and New King James Version and all this New Living Translation and all this other crap. That's all a bunch of crap to get the quote unquote body of Christ to nitpick at each other.
Just to piggyback for you real quick, actually the earliest Bible that's located in the Vatican says nothing like the rest of these Bibles. It's completely translated, completely different, and they took a lot of things out in order to fit a particular agenda, because there's no way like they're skipping anything about smacks or anything else. Like, I've read the other ones that you've read too, and I've studied different types of religion, including Hebrew Israelites and Muslims, and just wanted to see like what was the difference. And I've seen a big difference, but let me get off here and let you finish, Miss Dr. Cashel.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just go back to so I'm sorry, Doc. Come on, Dr. K.
The Mormon, you know, I mean,
come on.
Okay, the Mormon religion, I used to be a Mormon, you know, and everything. And now that's all messed up too. And that's a whole different show for a whole different time. But, you know, I mean, the thing is I'm concerned about people's mental health and how they're really doing, you know, and there's so-called Christians that just say, oh, pray about it. Well, you know, I mean, what, they can pray themselves right into hell, you know, too, if they don't know that, you know, if they don't get a solution going on in their life, you know. And so, you know, either you live in a solution or you live in the pollution. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I love that.
And I digress from here.
And see, when I started reading into the Bible, right, it was the same morals, values, and principles that my mother taught us growing up. And that's all the Bible is. It's basic instructions, right, before leaving this earth. Once you gain that connection with God and you understand, and I'm going to do the 10 commandments and I'm going to do the 5 books of Moses, okay? That's structure for the way God wants us to live our lives. That's all it is. That's all. So whenever you know right, but you continue doing wrong, you just disobey. That's all it is. That's all Adam done when God told him don't eat from that tree, right? And even though Eve picked the apple, he bit the apple, but he disobeyed the Father. That's all he did. That's what sin is. It's just disobedience towards God. So once you know the truth, like Missy was saying, everybody was saying too, understanding the difference between right and wrong. Because you could not tell me, Missy, all them years I was out there trying to hustle and doing what I was doing, poisoning the community, I was wrong. Somebody said, you knew you was wrong. I said, you could not tell me I was wrong. It wasn't until I came out of it that God let me see what I was doing. I was like, oh my God. I didn't realize a day at a time I was poisoning the community. But it's not like that now. You know the old saying, once we was blind, but now I see. Once we was lost, but now I'm found. And now that I see the truth in a lot of stuff now, y'all, I'm like, God, I be playing, y'all. I be playing. You know I'm playing. Why did you open up my eyes to see this and see that? Because at one time, I wasn't aware. And what common sense was saying, and I got to go back here, y'all, and we're going to let T share. 2 years ago, y'all know I got arrested, right? It was for a reason. But anyway, God took me to Genesis all the way to Revelation. Now, I didn't realize at this time. Now, I'm reading it and I understand the Israelites are God's chosen children. But I didn't pay a lot of attention to that. But this time I begin to see it. They was his chosen children. So one of the guys, that Muslim guy that was reading my Bible, he said, well, Jesus only came back to redeem them. I said, so what you saying? Jesus ain't come back for us too? No, he just came back for us. I almost took my Bible from him. But when I read it again, I seen they was his chosen. And I do believe, just like with us, they was his chosen people to suffer, to go through challenges, to go through things in life. But guess what? Jesus didn't come back just to redeem them back. He came to redeem all who believed in him. That's where the switch came about. But anyway, for me saying that, I did not realize this at this time. And common sense said it a little bit earlier. Jesus spoke about division. Religions tend to divide us. So now, if you're teaching it properly, it's organized religion that Jesus was speaking against. It's organized religion, because organized religion and politics, excuse me, y'all, is what enslaves and oppresses people now. I say, oh my God.
Can I say one thing and then we can I want to say this. he says, I leave you this one commandment, okay? It says, love thy neighbor as yourself. If you don't love who you are, or you don't have the concept of love, okay, then you will harm yourself and anybody else in the community that you're connected with, because community means connection, okay? Anybody that you're in communication with, okay? So we have to, you use the word spiritual discernment. You have to have the spiritual discernment to understand what it's saying at the time that it's saying, that is speaking personally to you about a circumstance or a situation. And I even expounded on the fact that it's about balance. And I use electricity about positive and negativity, positive and negative. You got the red wire, you got the blue wire. They both got to be connected, but both of them have to have the same amount of currency or electricity going through it in order to have a good connection. Now I'm gonna say this: some of our people may not have a good connection, even though they got a red wire and a blue wire. Okay? And some people have imbalances, hormonal imbalances and everything. I'm living 14 years without a thyroid. But I ain't never took chemotherapy. I ain't never took radiation therapy because I believed in what he told me. He said, my grace is sufficient. He said, trust me, and I will be your healer. He said, I've given you the herbs, the berries, everything in the garden. He gave us not only for us to eat, but also to heal us. So that's what I did. I went into the word, found what he said, I believed it, and then I started doing my own research, okay? I started drinking sour sap tea. I started taking vitamin B12. If I could get my hands on B17, I took that. I took vitamin E, A, D, and K, magnesium, and zinc. And now I'm searching for copper, okay? I paid attention and I changed what I eat, because I'm going to say that a lot of what's going on with us is what we consuming. We consuming junk food. We ain't consuming God's food. And I'm going to land my plane on that.
Come on, T. Dr. K, I don't know what happened.
How y'all feeling today?
Pretty good, and you, Queen?
I'm good.
Come on, we were just talking. I just wanted you to come up, cause I know you's a good vibe. So I just yeah.
I was about to sleep over here.
Oh, was you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you come on last night?
Yeah, I was in the chat. You talking about on my own live?
Yeah.
No, I didn't come on. I was a little tired last night.
Okay.
I'm always tired though.
Yeah. Was you over Communist Live?
No. I came in your live for a few minutes, was listening to you.
Right. Last night I was you know me. I was waiting for you. And I think 1 o'clock came. I said, because I think you're an hour off from me, right? And 1 o'clock came. I said, oh, she still ain't up yet. I was gone.
Yeah, I went to sleep early last night. I had went out with some friends.
Good. And she has a her platform, Common Sense Pastor. Her platform is beautiful. Now we still have some that wants to come in and try to go certain places. And T know if they get too far out of whack, if they don't balance out, I drop their butt. Cause I mean, it's like hers is more like therapeutic, you know. We don't mind if you come up and you going through stuff. We don't mind listening. And you know where I'm at. I'll come in, try to embrace you, stuff like that. But for the most part, I'll just try to shut up because I'm mainly older than everybody else. But still, it's to keep a balance. And that's what her and I talk about. And what I love is you hear how she talks. She just humble as all outdoors.
I try to be humble. I try to be kind as much as I can be. I get frustrated here and there too. But I just try to treat, like she was saying, treat people how you want to be treated.
And she's amazing. Common sense. Look, a chill just ran through me, right? Because I call her my daughter. Right? And I just love the way she present herself. I love the way she present her platform, her social platform, the way she embraced people. But like you were saying, we always have a couple that wants to come up and want to take it to the left. But the goal is, and Tino is to try to bring it back, get them back on point again. But after a while, we don't do nothing but laugh, kid, and joke. We be cracking up over there sometimes. People be like, thank you, because I needed this, we needed that. But her platform, Common Sense, I'll be waiting for her to come out, right? And so that's about the only one right now. Might be two more that I try to give a little support to. But when T Talk show up, whew, thank you, God.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
It means a lot.
And it do because of the energy. You know what I mean? So and even the other day, Common Sense, when Dr. K had went to share something, right? And it was thrown off when I told Dr. K that, we kind of got some stuff cleared up. So she ended up coming back, but T did apologize to Dr. K because she felt like some people was insensitive. You know what I mean? So, and that's not how we try to be over there. If you come up and you need to vent, we gonna listen. What's up, Elijah? Elijah.
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing great.
Praise God.
Yeah, you what happened?
She said she had to go.
Elijah, Common Sense says, okay. All right, Common Sense. All right, yeah, I'm just reading a comment. Come on, Elijah.
Thank you.
You got a lot of echoing in the background. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. We started talking about we started talking about, actually it was I started out with like prayer, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we was talking about how like the men, wait a minute, I'm trying to bring Mr. Truth up. Mr. Truth, request up, please. We was talking about like having me starting back the show about men's mental health. What you think about that?
Please come again.
About men's mental health. All right. That was too much noise. All right, TT. I think I'm gonna go ahead, probably chill for a little bit. You banned? Why the heck is you banned? Oh, you banned on your Mr. Truth one. Is that you that be putting up AI TikTok work and prayers? Sure, yeah, that's you too. Yeah, we're gonna talk more about that, Mr. Truth. Because we supposed to been doing it on Mondays. Me and OG, I don't know what happened, but I'm trying to get back to the point of doing my Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
I am. It's just like some days, and I see I'm gonna have to really, really push myself because once I come on, I'm on. But it's like just some days, it's physically, I just don't feel like it. So I see now I'm gonna have to really push myself.
That's how I be feeling. I be tired all the time.
And people will drain you.
Yeah.
Yo.
Man, don't come up here with that, yo, you know I'm over 60, homeboy.
Hey, what about this? Home Slice? What's up?
What's up, twin piece? And you better be nice to my baby.
This the one that played the video yesterday?
Yeah, Mr. Truth.
Oh, this Mr. Truth right here?
Yeah.
I thought so. He sound different.
Yeah. No, I sound different when I'm laying in bed.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Patty.
My back's hurting, so I'm just chilling. Yeah, it gets off of that band tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets off tonight. Hey, something about 1800. I don't know what that is in military time, but yeah.
As far as you had to stay off of your Mr. Truth account.
Yeah. It gets
well before you can come back up. Yeah.
1800 hours.
That's 6. That's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, 1800. You do 12 and then the 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this your office space, Steve?
Yeah.
Steven?
Yeah. I was trying to think of something different to put up there, right? Other than I had put my Strength in the Community logo up on the other one, and I went to put the couch conversation one up, right? But I just wanted to do something a little different because it's Sunday, and I just
How you doing, love? TT?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm wonderful.
I'm glad to hear that.
Just go through pain all day, you know. So.
He go through too much pain for me.
Yeah, I remember when my back was hurting. I had to go get something done about that.
Yeah, they want me to make a decision ASAP, but I told them, I was like, I just can't do it. I can't do it with the risk that you are telling me to do.
Yeah. Steven, did you get my message?
Which one?
About the book.
Oh yeah, I seen. I meant to. Oh yeah. No. Now you know you got my mind blown away because I was watching you going through the book, and if you posted something, I didn't see it yet, but just to see, girl, look, I'm sorry.
Steven. You got some chips back there on that counter right there.
That's a picture. Yeah, that's. Remember, I said I was getting stuff for the children, like snacks and all of that. Yeah, I had to keep it in the office. Some of the stuff like that because the parents would come in and eat it too. But
I was like, man, you're making me hungry. Looking at the box.
But yeah, T, I'm sorry, Mr. Truth, but oh my God! Now I'm just looking at T, right? I just keep saying it's just something amazing about you, and to sit up there and watch you like open up your book and explain little stuff like that. I just want us to really, really support you. I do.
I appreciate that.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna find a way to order like 4 from you personally myself. Because I'd rather see you get the money than the other way. I'm trying to watch it because I know there's business too. But I'd rather see you profit from it. And that way I can encourage it from my a children's book.
Oh, I wrote a children's book too.
Okay. What's the name of your children's book?
The Little Elephant.
Okay. Is it on Amazon or something?
No, I never put it out there like that. I'm individual publisher, just to
Right.
sell it myself.
Did you do the illustrations on it?
I did everything, all of it.
And it was something else you did, cartoon wise, Mr. Truth, right?
Yeah.
Tell her that.
I did some cartoons for a major website. You remember? I don't know if you remember, because I don't know how old you are, and I don't want to ask you that, your age. But there was a cartoon website years ago called JoesCartoons.com. And I did a crap load of cartoons on there for that website.
What do you design it on? Or do you draw it?
I draw it and then I put it in a 3D program.
Okay. Do you still do that kind of work?
No, I do not.
Oh.
I wish I did. But that program costed over $10,000 just for that program. And I'm not buying it no more.
I don't blame you.
And I be trying to work around certain things myself.
They got some free ones out there, but those free ones, they don't give you the full free thing, you know?
Just
you
enough.
Need what you actually need. So yeah, and that's how I created my book with drawings and stuff, and then I did the 3D, and then I created that and I printed it out, and it gave me the pictures that I needed. So
do you have a copy of your book?
Yeah, but it's in the safe.
Oh, okay.
I got a vault at the bank, and I keep one of my books there, and then I keep my other books at the other properties that I have.
Okay. It's kind of cool to see your work. Huh?
I don't like to keep all my valuables in one area in case of fires, things like that.
I see.
Because I've had the experience of fires before, and that's not a good thing. And I've lost a lot of stuff over the years, but I can tell you a little bit about it. So the Little Elephant was based off of my children, and what it was is the Little Elephant. They was the poachers that went and got this little elephant separated from a family, the mother and father, and brought it to the United States. When they brought it to the United States, they had this building, and the elephant was inside of a cage. And now, mind you, my kids, they was out playing. But I don't mention their names in the story. The story, they have different names. And my children, they go inside the building because they hear, they're out there playing. They go inside the building to see what all the ruckus was. Well, the poachers was already gone. They was already out and about, whatever. And they go in there and they rescue this elephant from the cage. Well, the elephant, they leave, and the elephant's following them, right? And it's just a baby. It's just a baby little elephant. And so the elephant follows them all the way back to the home. Then my kids see the elephant. They turn around, they see it, and they're like, what do we do? What do we do? And so they take the elephant in the house. And, of course, mommy and daddy, which is me and my wife, we get home and from a long day's work, and the whole when we walk in, the kitchen's a mess because the elephant has caused mayhem. My kids look at me and said, "Dad, what should we do? What do we do?" And I'm going off because I'm like, I said, "Why is there an elephant in my kitchen?" And so they started explaining, and then we put it out there. We take it outside, and I said, "Well, I know a place that we can give it a home." So I called this local zoo, which is, and I put them on the map actually, the zoo, and I called the Gulf Breeze Zoo, and I said, "Here, come and get the elephant." Blah blah blah. Da, da, da. So they get the elephant. Well, there's a big hidden secret. Come to find out, at the end of the story, this is where it gets everybody. At the end of the story of my book, I don't want to share too much because at the end of the story, there's a hidden secret about this little elephant on what this elephant can do. This elephant can talk.
Oh, okay.
And he can understand human language. Yeah. But before, you see, the catch was, and I didn't start with this, was that when he got poached by the poachers, his mother and father told him, "Do not talk to humans." So he listened. But at the very end, when the story is almost over, he talks and says, "This is where I'm from." And then they end up taking him back to his mother and father.
Okay.
So, and that's where the story ends. Actually, my story could be actually a movie. It really could. It really could be a movie.
How many pages is your children's book?
It's a lot.
Mine's like 35.
It might be 40.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. I never kept track, but yeah. I wrote the rough draft down on a text document and in Word on PC.
Okay.
And I got it saved to a flash drive somewhere. I've got so many flash drives that it ain't funny. But I got it somewhere. I've wrote poems. I've wrote stories. Sometimes I'll have to read you what some of my poems think about.
Okay. I wrote one poem. It was called "Life Is At You."
Oh, nice. I got a poem that's it's about all my poems I wrote is all spiritual, about Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And about my journey that I've went through, and I've even got a story about my life. I wrote a story from the day I was born, and I went from the day I was born to the day today's date, and I keep on adding to it. Everything new comes to me, I add to it every day. What I've been through, all the tragedies, all the ups and downs that I've been, I wrote all of that down, every bit of it. I write it down every time that something happens new to me or something bad happens. I write it all down.
I think people should write. I don't do this, but I think people should write down what they go through. Cause some stuff be kind of predicting the future to me.
Yeah. I've got a poem called let me see if I can remember the name. Soar among the clouds with God's golden chariot. Something like that. I'd have to pull it up again, but on my out of one of my flash drives like that, but because I don't keep anything on PC just like that, you know. Because here's the thing: if you, let's say, and a lot of people don't realize this, they really do not realize. So I save all my passwords. You know, I have passwords, and I remember some of them, but a lot of them I don't because my passwords are anywhere from 32 to 64 characters, and their numbers, symbols, and everything else. Capitals, lowercase, all of it, right? So I put them all on the text document, and I put the email in there, and then I put them on a flash drive, and then I delete it from the PC, and then it's all on the flash drive. And I do that because if somebody or some godly reason, somebody wants to get on my PC, they can get all the information, right? So if I put it on the flash drive, you can't get it unless the flash drive is actually into the PC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and I do all my important information like that with like my poems, my stories that I've wrote. I've even wrote a scary story, and I've been working on it for years. I still ain't done with it. I'm still not done. It's not actually a scary. It is kind of scary, but it ain't scary. I'll give you an example. It's about a man that got hit in a car, and when he did, he was married to a woman, no children, no nothing, but he got hit, and he ended up passing away.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did, he met Jesus. He met Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And in the story, the man. Well, first of all, let me get to this. First of all, he don't meet Christ right away. He's still alive, but he's gone. He's not alive, but he's like a ghost, basically, right? And he sees himself, and he starts freaking out. So he runs off into the woods, and this is where he stays for years, whatever, right? Well, one day his wife is hiking in the woods of the mountains where they live, and she comes across him and sees him, and she starts crying and tears rolling from her face. And then, so to make it short real quick, he kisses her, hugs her, blah, blah, blah. She thinks he's still alive, and he's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he's not like in a ghost form, you know, like you would see, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a spiritual form or whatever. He's like, looks just like what we would look like, basically, right? So, and then he's got this beard. He's all roughened up because, you know, he's been there ever since the accident has happened. So she goes off, and to make it short real quick, she goes away from him, and then the man himself, Jesus Christ, comes walking out of the woods area where he's at and tells him it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
So he grabs his hand and he takes him, and they start walking away. And she's screaming because she's now looking at them, and she screams at them. And then so then she runs over, grabs him, and says, "No, you can't go," blah, blah, blah. And now mind you, she can't see Jesus. She can't see him. You know what I mean? So, And he's like, I've got to. The Father is calling me.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you see him being lifted up into the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got his hands out. And then all of a sudden, she looks and she sees Jesus now. She can see him.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, they disappear. She's down on her knees, crying and everything. And then the next thing you know, I can't say no more because it gets way better than that after he disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I'm done with this book is going to be amazing.
I wish you well on it.
Yeah, I've been working on it for 3 years now.
Okay.
It's just it's trying to come together, but it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got about maybe 60 pages so far. It's like 60 something like that. Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And I wish you well on yours.
Thank you.
Your journey and all that.
Yeah, she's starting to post a little bit more of her adventures.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You know, hey, Copeland, I got to tell T about this. T, listen, I had a Facebook, and I had it, and when I was doing this Facebook, you know, as an artist, I put some of my stuff out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my stuff, when I do it, I copyright, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I put it out there. Do you know Facebook deleted my Facebook account?
Really?
Yeah.
They probably
Oh,
did.
wow.
Be very careful. Be very careful about posting your stuff because they said that if there's anything remotely, and I mean remotely anything that could be words that could be somebody else's, no, I'm just saying, you know, because I didn't copy nobody. But let's just say you mention a word. Let's say, let's give you an example. Jesus Christ is flying in the sky on a chariot. If you mention that, just saying, and somebody else out there has that in their thing, you're getting hit with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to be really tight with your words, because I'm telling you, they hit me, and yeah, my account got deleted. I lost like 6 of my poems that I wrote because I lost the flash drive and I couldn't get it back.
Yeah.
But you know what's good about this? What's really good is you might have deleted my Facebook, but I still remember them in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I can rewrite them if I want. But yeah, I just don't see the point in it anymore.
And see, I got about Facebook pages wise. Wait a minute. I'm stuck over here in Stevie Copeland now. But normally they'll send me something and they have all my programs under it, my Facebook pages. Like if I violate something on my main Facebook page, it'll touch that, but it won't touch the others. But there's a chance too, because of what I do on my main, it could affect the other pages too. And that's just their stuff.
Yeah.
And I had to start writing once again, trying to reach somebody at Facebook to explain to them basically what I do here in Baltimore City, right? Because You know, basically we talk about religion, you know, and then we might talk about politics. And I'm only putting out the information that I seen or I understand for myself. So basically it's educating the community. And I was looking at Don Lemon the other day, right? And he's a journalist. And I was looking at myself and I'm like, because of what I do like this with my mouth, it's considered as being a journalist. You know, even though they make good goddamn money for what they do, but still, that's what it is. You talk about politics, huh?
Tell them to pay you.
Well, that's the whole goal. No, seriously, you're right. That's the whole goal with everything, Mr. Truth, and promoting, like, strengthening the community, the Latanya D. Copeland House of Hope. Yeah. So when I put on there, I'm a community activist. I'm a community outreach coordinator. You know, a homeless advocate. Basically, it's like I'm reporting the news. You know, but I can only report like stuff that I see with my own 4 eyes, right? Or what's happening in Baltimore City. I can't, you know, Detroit, all these other places. If we're gonna communicate, we can communicate. That's not a problem. But I can only share with people from what's happening in Baltimore City, you know, and the work that not just me, with other groups that's in Baltimore City, what they're doing. You know, and it's a lot of great things in Baltimore City, but they report so much of the negative stuff, so it makes it look bad as a whole. But it's not. It's not as bad as they try to make it, and that's why I come back the way I do. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, T, I was going to ask you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. T, I was going to ask you. Did you use your real name on your book? Or did you actually use a made-up name?
I use my real name.
Okay.
Yeah, because normally on your book,
I know there's artists.
Go ahead,
There's
Mr. T.
artists out there that uses, you know, fake names.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll come up with a name and they'll use it, you know, so that way they don't get too bothered, you know, because there's a lot of people out there when they get famous, those people don't want to, you know, be bothered, basically, is what I'm saying. But I want to say something to you, though, because I was in your live multiple times, and I'm just going to mention this because I want to do it myself, and I'm really close to doing it. And you can actually start it yourself if you want, and it's not going to cost you. As far as I know, it's not going to cost you anything to start it on. But I was going to tell you, and you have the voice for it, and I know you would be like 100% really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I've heard you on your lives, I've heard your conversations and stuff. Mm-hmm. And you've come up with some really great conversations.
Yes, you do.
Stuff like that on your lives.
Mm-hmm.
And they're amazing. And so I'm going to mention something to you, and I think you might want to look into it because you can actually make money doing it more than what you could on TikTok or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you could actually get pretty big. I guarantee you could probably get pretty big of it doing it. There's a lot of people that do this, and they're like they're millionaires now. You know what I mean? But podcast.
Mm-hmm. You like the third person that told me I need to do a podcast.
I'm telling you, girl, podcast is where it's at with your voice.
Uh-huh.
That voice that you have, the words that you've said, the words I've heard come out of your mouth, the pictures with your words on it, I've seen from TikTok. Mm-hmm. The ideas that you come up with, things that you have people to ask, you know, all this stuff. you would be great at this, and I would not mind being a listener.
I really
would not
appreciate
mind
it.
at all, because I'm telling you, I would love to just sit there and listen to your voice. So I will give you an example, and you can look it up. So I don't know if you have Pandora. I have Pandora, and Amazon has it too. Amazon Music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Spotify does or not, but I don't think they do. They might.
Yeah, you can get with Spotify too.
Okay.
What can I record it on?
Huh?
What can I record it on?
Basically, it's like what you're doing now, but you would be doing it from podcasts.
Yeah, I know, but like, what app can I record on?
You could. Oh man, okay, so this is what I did. I went to Google, right? And I typed in how to start a podcast. And it gave me YouTube videos on how to start. And then after I did that also, I also typed in like, what do I need to start my podcast? You know, and then I did this too. I said, how to get my podcast, you know, get the views that I need. And it gave me everything. It told me everything there was. Told me what I needed to do, what I needed to buy, what I didn't need to buy. Did I have to have a subscription? Did I have to go through, you know, do I have to go through, like, get licensed, or do I have to get a certain license to do this, or can I just do it regular? Well, the thing is you don't need a license. Anybody can do this. Anybody can start a podcast.
Excuse me.
It's just you have to get the viewers.
Right.
That's the problem. You got to get yourself out there.
And see, everything start like this, Mr. Truth. The same way she's live streaming on TikTok. My broadcast, my Restream broadcast network, that's like $50 a month. Real simple. And I can broadcast to 30 other platforms with Restream. So you want to connect with most of the cities that does live streaming. You know, people that talk like we do. Now, my Restream, like what Mr. Truth just said, my Restream broadcast network is like a podcast. It's like a podcast. The same things he just said. And I'm telling you this too. I've been looking at like StreamYard, right? I'm not too familiar with StreamYard, but it's somewhat the same. But what I mean when I say I'm not too familiar with it, I'm quite sure they might do TV and live streaming, right? So while you on like this and you got that network, you can let other people come on with a show on your network, and they just pay you for the slot. You know, they might want to come on for an hour, stuff like that, because that's what I can do with my Restream. That's why I need a team of people that can set it up for me and make sure people coming in to do what they do. That's how you really earn too as well. So like right now, I'm on my broadcast network too, with like I be telling y'all where I'm Restreaming to like 6 other platforms now. You know, this makes number 7. The only reason why I didn't put TikTok into my Restream IO because of their community guidelines. Now, it might not be as strict if I put them over here, but I don't know. I just don't trust it because certain things I say out my mouth, I look around, they done banned it, right? So I don't even want to touch it over here. But if I can talk with somebody and they say that it can go in and they're not as strict, then I will put it over here. Because right now I'm streaming from 2, my iPhone over here and my iPad right here. You know, so I do want to merge everything together, and I can also stream from Instagram too. It's just putting it in, you know. And normally I'll put all 3 phones on. I'll put both of my phones on and my over here, right? But what he's saying, and I feel like this too, just because of your voice, and I'm gonna say your humbleness and your meekness, that's gonna bring people to you. You know, as now, it's not to say that the chaos and the confusion might not come here and there, but as you begin to grow just on your TikTok, and you feel as though they disrespecting your platform, some people we are gonna have to drop, even if they don't bring it down, right? That's all I be saying. It's okay to come on. It's okay to, I'm gonna say, vent. Let me put it like that. But then when you start disrespecting each other and being too loud, I feel like you disrespecting her. I feel like she got a real good thing going, Mr. Truth, like you saying. I feel like, look, I feel like she gonna blow up. I do. I feel it in my spirit. Huh?
Here's the thing, and I've seen it on TT's lives. I've seen the disrespect.
Right.
And I wanted to say something so bad one night because especially that one chick, man, she was riding you so hard, Cowboy. She was on you, man. I was so heated. I was saying, what the hell is she? What?
And then look, and then I gotta ask T, can I drop? Because T know I would drop him. I'm like, T, you okay? Because look, not being smart, Mr. Truth, not being smart. I gotta say this, right? And I know T understand too. I just don't want it to get out of whack. But sometimes when it's a little chaotic, it grows. But I don't want it with her live because I'm just looking at her spirit. So but look, I'll text T. I'll be texting T, right? I'll be like, can I drop? Cause she know as a mod. She know as a mod, be honest, she don't want me to like look, when it comes to my baby, I ain't playing.
Hey, when T
Blink.
Listen, when T is the host,
Right.
okay, and here's the thing, T, you're gonna have to suck it up.
I'm cracking.
Host and somebody is disrespecting you and your life, and no matter what they are saying, you're gonna have to stand up and say, okay, boom, I'm letting you down in the comments. And then you're going to have to go up here and you're going to get on that mic and you're going to say, now, I put you in the comments for a reason because you're disrespecting my life.
But she did, Mr. T. She did.
Act like you got some sense. Then I'm going to put you back up here.
She did. Look.
It just seemed like they keep them around. They just steadily be talking in the comments. I'm like, dang.
Well, you gotta say, well, I gotta block you now.
But look, it's a few times. I'm gonna tell you, it's a few times T dropped, and I'm like, huh? Because T is patient. She patient. She is patient.
Yeah. But here's where I think it is. I think T feels like if somebody's doing that in her mind, she feels, because I feel the same thing. She feels like if she drops them, they're gonna be mad at her.
We don't care. I mean, look, T.
No, I just don't take TikTok so serious. I mean, it just amazes me how so many people take TikTok so serious. I be like, wow, y'all really, it blow my mind. I didn't think it was that serious.
Oh, it's serious.
Yeah, it's serious. I didn't know.
There's people on here, T. Let me just blame them. There's people on here, man, that will argue with their own mother. They will literally bitch their mother out and their father. And I've seen it from my own eyes. I was on the live, what was it, a few days ago. This woman was on there. She's just talking. You know, she wasn't even the host. She wasn't talking. And the mother comes walking through. You can hear her in the background. She said, "You need to turn that off. I don't know why are you taking this so serious? And she screamed through the mic. She said, at her mom, she said, mind your own damn business, mother. I'm like, what?
Cooper, where you at? I just sent you an invite. I just sent you an invite. Look, I didn't look, Dr. Cooper, that's his name for me, Dr. Cooper. But look, we be over there dying. I ain't mean to say that word in the negative way, TikTok. But Dr. Cooper, yeah, love TikTok shop. Dr. Cooper, Jordan, and all of us. I've been trying to invite Jordan back too, right? Oh man, oh. I ain't even gonna say why. But look, I had to. Look. I'm gonna try to say something to him to encourage him to come back.
Hey, T, do you, when you do your lives, do you click on the little settings part and scroll down and click it on 18 plus?
Yeah,
no,
I think so.
Every time. I don't do it every time.
Okay.
You have to do it every time. I know it sucks, but you have to do it every time. Let me tell you why. If you don't do it and somebody says the wrong thing, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit, and it's not going to be a pretty thing, okay?
Yeah.
You know, because there's people out here that's trying to hurt other people. And trust me, they do it just to be doing it. You know what I mean? I did nothing wrong, okay? I did nothing wrong. The only thing I was doing, I was showing my face, okay? I had no shirt on, but I was covered up in my blanket, okay? Right? And I was laying in bed, and I just had my camera on, and I was just showing my face. Tell me why I got hit twice saying that I was showing porn.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute. I wasn't showing nothing. My face was the only thing. And I gave TikTok, I gave them the proof that they wanted. I got approved. So they approved it, right? But because it got hit again for the second time, because somebody did it, like not even but 5 seconds after I got approved. When I came back in, as soon as I came back in, they hit me with it again.
Wow.
And so I tried to do it, to appeal it again. And they said because it was so soon, they couldn't do it. They had to give me until the 9th, which is today. Okay. They hit me with a 3-day ban.
Okay.
So you got to be very careful. And the thing is, where was the porn at? It was my face. That's it. That's what I was trying to explain to them. And everybody on the panel was like, wow, you got hit with that? That's crazy. You wasn't showing anything.
And see, sometimes...
You be careful and make sure it's always on 18 plus, because let me tell you why. Also, if you have it on 18 plus, let's just say somebody comes in your life and they come on your panel and they're smoking, right? Mm-hmm. They're allowed to. They can do it and you won't get hit at all.
Okay.
And I think they said drinking too, which I'm like, okay.
They can even drink on your life.
I still don't trust it. Well, I don't drink, so, but.
I'm just saying, just for example, because you never know when somebody pops up there and turns on the cam and they got one in the camera. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, if it's not 18 plus, let's say you let somebody up and they turn on the cam. Because you can't control if they turn on the cam, but you can control by turning it off, because you can't do it. Mm-hmm. You can make them turn it off. But you can't stop them from turning on the camera. So let's say they come on your panel and they're looking to get you. They're looking for you to get you taken down, right? Mm-hmm. All they got to do is come up on the panel. If they know that it ain't 18 plus, they can come up on the panel, turn on the cam, and sit there and hold a damn bottle right in front of the screen, and boom, you're gone.
And see, once if I spot something like that, being a moderator, and you come up with something stupid in the sense that I think that might hit her, I'm going to drop you anyway. Because that's the whole thing. T. I don't want to see.
She's still gonna get hit.
Yeah, she might get hit. She might get hit, but if you notice, a lot of times I'll be putting in, we love shopping on TikTok, stuff like that, right? Just in case somebody say certain words in the process anyway. I was told don't do F1 because that'll point them to you.
It doesn't work no more.
Right. So that's why I'll do the fruits, and then I'll do We Love TikTok Shop. Then I'll say I'll put live streaming, restreaming with T Talk live streaming, restreaming, because a lot of people don't understand this is basically business. It's business. And
there's another one that you need to do too.
what? Which one is that?
Hashtag For You page.
Okay. Because I noticed somebody been putting that on certain things too.
Yeah.
So
Come on. I was on somebody else live and they were saying to get pushed on the For You page, you have to send Go Populars and daily heart me's.
Yes, you do. But if you want to go on the For You page, just type in hashtag For You page over and over again and have your chat to type it in, and you'll go on there. It's a cheat. To bypass the system, so you don't have to do the heartbeats and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a cheat because I'm in Group 7. Group 7 is a God's thing. It's a God's group. We're about love and cherish and about friendship and family. So I don't know if you've seen my videos, Copeland.
Yeah, I be seeing your stuff, but I already know where you at, Mr. Truth. Yeah. That's why I call you twin. You ain't got to worry about that. I already know where you at.
I'm in Group 7, and how you know that you're in Group 7? Have you ever scrolled through TikTok? When you scroll through TikTok and you come across a Group 7 video, right? If you come across a Group 7 video, that means you're in Group 7. That means that they want you to join the Group 7. And basically what it is also, if you make a video and you put a G7 on your, type it out with with your thing, and you put a G7 at the top of your video or whatever, and you use the music that I use, like we have our own music. Group 7 has its own music. And it's on TikTok. You'll search it, G7 or Group 7 music, and it'll come up. We have our own artist. She's the one that started Group 7, and so you'll use that music, and your video will go viral. Like it'll go viral. There's people like mine right now. Mine's getting all the views and getting comments right now lately. But it will go viral. There's people out there right now that made videos yesterday, and they've already got over 1 million views on this thing. Like, Group 7 is a huge group. They got Group 1, they got Group 2, they got Group 3, but number 7 is the best group out there right now because each group has its own beliefs. And Group 7 is the only one that believes for God.
Okay.
So, like I said, if you scroll through, if you're scrolling and you see any videos that says Group 7 or hear the music, if you hear the music, you are in Group 7. If you do not hear it, then you're not in. And see, I wasn't hearing it at first. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got in.
Yeah, and see, some stuff that hits me, Truth, I don't know what a lot of it. Wait a minute. Oh, a customer was saying something about And a group 7 is made
yeah,
up.
it's
Okay.
made up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a made up 7. Yeah, but here's the thing: the group is made up. Yes, it is.
And I be seeing you certain places, but not being smart about our something that Missy was saying a little bit earlier. I'm gonna just say, as some Christian folks, right? I don't care what your religion is, but basically they can be sloppy. And for me, I just try to watch who I deal with, and it's not to judge you, you know, because I know it's about growing. But certain people, I just don't deal with. And I try to stand firm on my morals, my values, my principles.
Yeah,
And
we don't hang out though.
right,
So
right. I got you.
We don't hang out like a group like that. All
Right.
we do is we like, share, and comment. And as soon as we do that on our videos, they go viral. They go
Right.
crazy.
I got you. I got you.
That's what Group 7 is.
I got you.
But yeah, for custom right there, what he said.
Yeah, a
Be
custom.
group for God. That's the thing. I actually, even though I'm in Group 7, because we all believe in God in Group 7. Every one of us is for God, because you can see by Group 7 videos that I have is always talking about God. Even in the music, it talks about God. But I was going to start my own group on TikTok, and I've been wanting to do it. I was going to start, instead of Group 7, I was going to do that right there, what he just mentioned.
And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. This the truth. I'm gonna tell you this. What I was taught early on in my walk, right? And like when we conversating with each other, and what was told to me, if they don't mention the Father, they don't talk about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit. That's the first time I said the Holy Ghost in probably years. But the Holy Spirit, get away from them. Because that's how we kind of identify with each other, right? But it's just certain signs I was taught early. And I try to help people understand when I look at Christ, and I'm talking about imitating his humility, and that's Philippians 2nd chapter. You don't hear a lot of people talk about that. He's talking about your character, talking about your personality, talking about you as a human being. You know, being Christ-like, being loving, kind, considerate, thoughtful, stuff like that. And then I always say too, because I know I'm a loving, caring, kind, considerate man. I already know that, but I know I can be a total jerk too. So that's accepting the fact, as a human being, there's a good side of me, and there's a negative side of me. You know, so that's what I have to keep up front. Play with me. You know, sometimes that old school want to show up, but then I have to realize, stop, die to this, because you die into this on a daily basis. It's the spirit man that has to gain control over this flesh man. So, and it's not, I ain't trying to be perfect at all. I ain't trying to walk on water. Matter of fact, I was getting ready to make a joke and say, I can walk on water, but I might sink. No, that's because I like making jokes, right? But once I learned, to be honest with y'all, as long as I'm in this flesh, long as I'm in this flesh, I will never be perfect. That's why he underlived himself, so that I can walk through this life. But now, am I saying deliberately just go around and just screw up? No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just when you do fall short, that's all you gotta do, is say, Lord, please forgive me, and try not to do it again. You forgiven. Don't, you ain't sent to no heck and all that type of stuff like people. Man, please. I don't tell people stuff like that, because I had to understand, right? It's my relationship with him, with the creator. With the creator. When I look at Christ, not being smart, when I look at Christ as my big brother. I look at Christ as someone that I want to model, emulate. And I'm talking about with that loving, caring, considerate personality, right? But when he flipped that table over in the synagogue, I said, oh my God, he got angry. He got angry, he got lonely, he got tired. That goes to show how the creator became flesh. And a lot of people will deny it. You can deny it. But I thank him for allowing me to see, you know, because I see it. I see it. Just like when we read Mr. Truth and Family, we read in the beginning, it talks about how the Spirit of the Lord hovered through the universe. It was words that came out that Spirit. It was words. God is his word. The spoken word had become the written word. They started writing about God in Old Testament laws and stuff. They started writing about it. The written word that became flesh and dwelt amongst his people. I was like, oh my God. But when I read in the book of John up to chapter, what, the first chapter up to 11, I'm trying not to get the verse and chapter mixed up, right? First chapter up to 11, to the 11th verse, when it talks about in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word that was created by him. So y'all know what I'm trying to say anyway, right? So that helped me to understand once again. And I was arguing with some Muslims about that, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I said Muslim. Some Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'm reading their Bible that was given to me. And then it talks about how the word became flesh and dwelt amongst his people, and his people didn't recognize him. I said, here it is right here in y'all Bible, because they don't believe that Jesus is God in the flesh. But that's how some people are being taught. So I can't get mixed up with that. But now, I pointed that out to some Jehovah's Witnesses. They turned around and ran. Tell me, oh my God, he's trying to confuse us. I said, oh, where y'all going is right here in your Bible. But now, a lot of people that reads Old Testament laws, mainly your other religion, like your Muslims, your Israelites, and all of that, they read Old Testament laws. Old Testament law, right?
I'm sorry, Copeland, but I gotta head out, man.
All right, thanks.
But I just wanted to say one thing before I leave, though. Copeland, I've been your friend for a long time, and you know, I know that we call each other twins and all that, and everything. And I love you, brother.
You know, I love you too, bro.
And I've always wanted to tell you this, and I've never. I don't think I've ever. I think I might have, but I've never told you. I don't think, because I can't remember. But I want to tell you something. I know that you say that you're a deacon and all that, but brother, deep down inside in my heart, you can be a pastor. You have the power. I feel it, and I see it. I feel it in my heart every time that you speak, bro. I feel that you could be a pastor.
Even though
God's working right through you, bro.
Right. Even though I got ordained deacon, right, in 2009, I know deep down in my spirit I am a minister for Christ. That's what the Holy Spirit told me. I mean, being a deacon is just a title.
I can still listen.
Yeah. But now being a deacon is just a title, right? Like, all right, love you, bro. I just want to finish sharing.
I'll see you later.
All right. Now, being a this is something that I wanted to say too the other day, T. I wear many hats. That's why I be putting them hats on. That's all the titles are. I wear a lot of hats, but I already know in my spirit, I know I'm a minister for Christ. And this is ministry for me. Like, this is the pulpit for me.
I hate when you tell somebody, like, say Christ or say God had revealed to you what your calling is, and you tell people your calling, and they be like, well, we all that. I'm like, I don't think we all are certain things, you know?
But remember I keep saying, I said there's something special about you. It's something special about you. And that's for you to discover it. Because normally he'll kind of show me certain things, but it's just something that's real awesome. It's amazing about you. And you begin to open it up more now. You are becoming more obedient, right? Because I'm looking at you now, you're promoting your books, you're doing certain things, right? And something you said too the other day that God laid on my spirit, but that's for you. When you said something about maybe counseling, right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
about.
Yeah.
And then I told somebody else that I think I have been called to counsel. I know I have because he told me 3 different times.
Yeah, because see, basically it's how, remember what Mr. Truth was talking about? It's how you embrace people. You make people feel welcome. You don't make people feel belittled or beneath you and stuff like that. Now, what I learned for me, because of the domineering person that I am, right? And I was always like this. Let me stop. Even when I was in the street. But it's to turn it around for something good. Now, my whole thing with everything, right, is certain people that I'm gonna say I minister to. Some people I have to be soft and gentle to, but when it comes to, I'm gonna say our hard-headed ones. Sometimes when you see me go up, remember what I was telling you? When you see me picking with a lot of the young ones that come up, might go, yeah, old man, this and that. No, that's my goal of picking with them, but it might sound rough, but it's out of love. Because when I finish, I might turn around and say, nephew, you love me? Man, I don't know you, but boy, you love me. See, I'll just do that to break the ice, to bring the peace in. Because a lot of times they never really had a positive man that made them feel like they really cared for them. And somebody said something on the platform one day when me and somebody was going back and forth. I like that. I like it. I'm trying to think Saul, right? And I wanted to tell Saul, you know, look, I respect you for where you at with what you do and how you do things as a man. You know, if that's how you believe, like that's how you believe it. I'm just coming from my point, my view of things. I want him to come. And I'm gonna share this with you too, since you right there. I don't mind Passport coming up, but he better not disrespect you. You know, and another thing I want him to know, you got to bring it down, bro. Not being smart. Try not to come up bashing our black women, you know, because you feel like this, you feel like that. Kind of bring it down some. Because I've been like Mr. Humble, I was on his platform, I was listening to them talking about Passport Bro. Passport Bro have his own way of looking at life and looking at whatever happened in his life. But I'm gonna tell you this: when the other day, when he kind of said something to you, and I dropped him because he disrespected you, he said in the comment he didn't say nothing bad to you. I'm like, this man must be crazy as all outdoors. Cause right after
I told him I have heard bad things about him. I haven't heard nobody say nothing good about him. So I'm already biased against him anyway.
Right. I got you. But
I didn't
look,
really give him no chance.
Right.
I already was guarded.
And you know what though? Be honest with you.
Sometimes though.
Be honest. Because I like listening to him because he comes from a totally different perspective on things. And if everybody had listened the other day, he said the reason, and I'm gonna use certain words on it, right? The reason why he went to get the woman that he got, because it was the way they was trained and taught. He said it in a sense, but nobody caught it. I'm like,
they be saying he be lying.
He might be.
And he really got a wife overseas and stuff like that.
Well, I know he got a son. Well, I don't know if that's actually his son, but he did cut his camera on one time, and he had a little kid with him. But me, him, and Ghost, we was talking one day. It was just the men, and he wasn't talking like he normally do. It was like the men, and I seen a different person with him, right? So I don't know most men, and this way I have to go at. Anytime you hear men bashing women and women bashing men, they've been scarred.
Yeah.
They've been scarred. That's why for me, I said I'm gonna start listening because I gotta be careful who I allow. I'm talking about the relationship part, who come in my life. Because I meet some beautiful women. And it's like you meet that representative. Then 2-3 months down the line, it could be 6 months. But later down the line, you meeting the representative. Once that real person show up, this where you have to decide whether you want to put up with that individual as well. Because you meeting that kind, considerate, loving, caring person that's there. That's what they want you to see. But then you'll see that other side. So once you see that other side, now you got to decide, do I want to be bothered with this? You know, and that's what I be trying to say when I say we don't, how we vet each other, right? I've seen it. And I know for me, because of the type of man I am, if a queen come in my life, she don't have to worry about nothing. But I'm older now, so be honest with you, all that bull junk I did when I was younger, like raising other people's kids, look, I got grandbabies. So I'm like, you know, so all of that during that time, but now, and being older now, it's like I don't have the patience and the tolerance no more, like that, right? So I need somebody closer near my age, you know, stuff like that, more mature. But still, if you coming in, and if I hear through conversation, mainly, and I'm trying to watch it, because if your father was in your life but y'all didn't have a healthy relationship, that's a red flag for me. Then when I hear you talk about, because I'm gonna say mainly if you was in a abusive relationship or whatever, right? That's kind of sign for me too. Then when I hear you basically saying all men are animals and blah blah blah, I'm gonna back up off you. Because if that's the conversation we talking about, 9 times out of 10, you still dealing with some trauma. And the goal is straight out. If me and you talk, and I know certain things happen in your life, but you went to counseling, you doing what you can not to bring that garbage in your new relationship, I might give you a chance. But if I see you got it, that you really scarred right now with it, and it's going to interfere with what we try to move on with, I'm not messing with you. I'm not messing with you, because one thing I learned, and my ex-wife taught me very well, I recognize the signs now. I recognize the signs, and those are some of the reflections that I use, right, when it comes to actually watching out who I allow here. Because sometimes what I have to do with me, I feel like I'm a healthy, strong, positive man. And if I let somebody in my life that's not there, I got to ask myself, Steve, what is going on with you that you are attracting toxic women? You know, because you don't want to try to fix nobody. My pastor helped me understand that. And I listen to how guys talk and women talk. Number one, when a person come in your life, you want to love them and accept them for who they are. But it's that other side, the truth about them, that shows up. Now, are you willing to deal with that too? That's why I'm saying certain things we got to look at, because nobody is perfect, not me. But the thing is too, whatever went on before I met you, that's not your problem. That's what, and look, if you listen to what I say, even though my second marriage didn't work, I tell everybody like this: I still love my ex-wife. Not that I still love her, I'm still in love with her, because I understand the difference between the both. But I understand that's not a good place I could be. You know, it didn't work. And we are better off now. And I be trying to share that so they'll catch it. Me and her is better off now with just being friends. I'm going to say like this: just being friends where we at, because our main interest right now or concern is when it comes to our children and grandchildren. I ain't going to dislike her. What am I hate her for? Then my first wife, what am I hate her for? Come on. And that's why I tell people, you know, the same way you fall in love, and I want to kind of watch it, but you do lose the desire for that person. You get me? Because that's what I started realizing, T, when it got to the point that I wasn't really interested in her no more. That's when I started going outside. But actually, now that I see it, I was working my way out of it. Like some people say, just go. If you want to cheat, just go. Eventually, I did leave. But I didn't realize that's what I was doing. Rather than me just jumping up and saying, oh, I'm going to leave so I can go cheat. No, it sounds good. But now, I had to start cheating to realize, be honest, I had lost interest in her. Not just my first one, the second one too. I already know, because I'm the one that made the decision to move away. Well, what you do to her? No, I know what I did. I know what I did. But what I had to do, for anybody that don't understand, when you have a relationship with the Creator. And I understand that once you get married, your focus is not on the Creator as much, because now it's on your wife and your children. And when I put that before God, right, I said I will never do it again. I will never. So even when the queen come in my life, I want you to have that beautiful connection with God. If you walking in whatever he told you to do, rather we're in the church, this and that, continue doing it, because as long as you're doing the right things for you spiritually, I know you're going to be there for me. I already know it, because that's my job, to be there for you and our family. I already know it as a man, as a king. I already know it. So when I hear a lot of these guys on here, and then I said something about the 50-50, right? That's like half, right? But either way, the man should be able to provide for his family. Now, there's nothing wrong with the queen if she want to add, but the man should be able to provide for the family. Now, even if y'all do 50-50, my thing is don't use the word 50-50. That sounds kind of cheap to me. It's like you selling yourself half price. I mean, that's how it sounds to me. But because I be listening to him on here, I'm like, you give 100, she give 100. Sometimes, when we look at the money situation wise, right, she might make more than you, but it's not to belittle your mate. If you making almost 200,000 and he makes around 100,000, it ain't to belittle him, because the money come together. So when I hear people on TikTok, I'm like, what planet is y'all from? I'm like,
TikTok.
I know, but look, every time I say that, I'm like, TikTok gonna flag me. There you go. He's sitting up there telling people the truth. We trying to keep them separated. I'm telling you, I know certain things. Watch when I get ready to put my stuff back over there. But they normally let it through anyway. Because my thing is, I have to let them know my goal as a community activist, as a community organizer, and I know y'all want us to follow the community guidelines, is to encourage, empower, and motivate our people. That's what I send them back. That's what I send them. It's about encouraging, empowering them, the people. This is what my live is all about. This is the way I promote strength in the community. This is the way I promote my business. This is the way on my broadcast network I promote Baltimore City, the work we're doing in Baltimore City. If you're in another city, y'all want to join together because you want to put some stuff together, or you are, and you want us to merge together as a team, come on, let's go. Let's go. And that's all I be trying to say, Ted. T, because when I say T, I'm thinking of the TIA. Ted. Yeah, because my ex-wife name is Tamika. So So but we called her Ted.
Used to be named, his nickname used to be T.
T, that's what we call her, T. Because I'm so used to saying Tia. That's why when I see your name, I'll do Tia, because I'm thinking about T. So don't be trying to correct your father over here. I don't know. It's just, I be honest, because I'm a very, very overprotective man when it comes to the women. When it comes to the women. So when anybody, in my case, being your moderator, that I feel like disrespecting that live or disrespecting you, that's why I'll send you a message. Can I drop him? I'll be like, can I drop him? What's up? Because I know you give people chance after chance after chance. Real simple. Because you're a very humble person. And I did see you drop some people too. I was like, okay. Because you beat me to the punch.
Got on my nerves.
Yeah.
I dropped that other woman the other night that told her story 3 times. I'm like, oh my God.
And you see, when I said something, she kind of bucked at me. She had a problem. She had a problem with him. But my thing is, when she started talking about how her father was like taking care of him, doing this and doing that, and then he didn't want her to go to college and all that type of stuff, that was mental, verbally. I don't know physically if he did anything to her, but he was tearing this apart. He was trying to tear this apart.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, golly.
No way in the world.
And we just sat there and were quiet. We already were tired.
And look, I know certain times, mainly when you come on, if you come on kind of late, I know a certain time, you know, you tired because you got to get up and go do what you do, go to work, right?
Yeah.
So
I hadn't even worked all week.
you didn't.
I'd be so tired, like drained. I don't know what that is. I don't know if I got to start eating better or what.
And it could be that too, because you just when y'all came up, I had went downstairs. I was gonna make me a couple of waffles, right? And I normally just make a little sandwich, and that's all I'll eat, right? Once a day, which I'm not supposed to do. I'm supposed to eat 3 times a day, but small meals, right? So I'll eat once a day. And that's what I was doing when I went down there. I just put on some they was them daggone like chicken nugget
You
things.
retired?
Oh yeah, I've been retired. I retired like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I retired from trucking 5 years ago. But now doing the housing program, because I have a staff, I don't have to go in like I used to. I have people who actually do everything for me. And right now we're in the process. Well, right now that building got closed down that we was in. But I have other people that's housing my clients, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's a staff of us. Now the biggest thing with that, and I was sharing it, I was trying to be careful because she's a little bit more expensive with her rooms than I am. But still, if you call me and say you need some help, I'm gonna guide you to her. And she have no problem working with you, right? Money wise. But she's not real. Mine's 600, hers might be about 750. But I don't do that because most of the people I work with is on SSI or SSDI or they get TCA. So I have to make that room affordable for you. So once you do go through the process of getting your own place, be honest with you, I don't want your rent to be over 600. At least I know you can pay this amount each month. So if you pay it and you pay it on time and you're doing the necessary things to get a career-minded job, and I know or profession, because I don't want to miss career and job profession. I'm trying to separate the job part from it for profession, right? Because you can make well over like $20 an hour, up to 30, where when you in a career mind-setting job, profession, I'm sorry, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna pay for everything. And when I say that, you get health benefits, you get the retirement, you get the 401k, you put into it. And then say like if you want to get a place and pay a regular amount of rent. And that's for that mother, because every time I talk, I'm looking at the mother with children, right? And no male is there to help her. I gotta end this over here. Not this one, T. I gotta end my